Alright, so today I'm back with yet another chapter review, and today we will go over chapter 296, which is honestly pretty exciting, as we first get to see Isagi almost going mental and looking absolutely wild before we get thrown back into the Manshine City versus FC BACHIRA match, where honestly Manshine City is struggling quite a bit, but I don't want to say anymore, so you will just have to sit back and watch to find out what happens. Anyway, please leave a like and a comment as well as join the Discord server, but anyway, with that out of the way, let's get into it. So to begin chapter 296, also called Brains Are Boiling, we see some of the Ubers players spectating Isagi's reaction to getting to first place. Sendao looks somewhat amazed, but also frustrated that Isagi managed to do it, while Aiku looks ecstatic as he scratches his head and thinks that finishing with a 240 million offer is crazy. I wish we got some words from Nico, but sadly we instead moved over to the king of Blue Lock, Baru, who looks at the screen almost glued to it as he says that it's right and calls Isagi a donkey while saying that he is the #1 player, which Baru is chasing after. We then see a ton of spectators being almost mind-blown by this revelation, and among them we have the man of the hour, Isagi, whose eyes look like they have stars in them, as he says that it feels so incredibly good. He says that he's endured everything, adapted, and perfectly crushed everyone with logic. We then see Isagi starting to look wild as he has puzzle pieces with the faces of Noah, Rin, Kaiser, and Loki, as well as Ness all around himself, as he thinks that this pleasure is only his and that it's coming from his own hunger. He calls it crazy that right now, everyone in this world can definitely feel it, and that Isagi's complete originality is boiling his brain. And just look at this insane panel. This is the panel I told you guys about in my leak video, and for good reasons, because just look at how insane the mangaka went on this drawing. It looks like everything is just flowing into Isagi's brain, which makes him look absolutely manic. He then thinks back to some of his earlier moments and thinks that the best him from back then is updating, and that in the pursuit of this pleasure, he'll surely reach the best in the world, and tells himself to go even more. And I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks this, but in this panel, Isagi kind of gives me some strange Rin vibe, as his vibe and overall hunger in his face just remind me of Rin. Sadly, we don't get to delve much more into it right now, as we instead go to the FC BACHIRA match, where we see BACHIRA being in control of the ball. He looks intense as he says that the monster has arrived. Ryo behind BACHIRA screams to his teammates that BACHIRA is coming at a rapid speed, and Agi tells Nagi to join him and try to press BACHIRA, which Nagi agrees to. However, they heavily underestimated BACHIRA, as he first makes a lift and then goes right into a roulette, which firstly just looks so insane cool, but at the same time, I can't think about how goofy he looks. Anyway, BACHIRA's moves leave Agi in total awe, as this is probably the first time he's seen someone with this many crazy moves and dribbles. BACHIRA flies over Nagi with the ball, before he starts getting a huge smile on himself, as he looks ecstatic and calls himself a god. Nagi, who's currently under BACHIRA, sees this and is in pure awe as he calls it awesome. And then BACHIRA delivers the final blow, as with the ball still being in the air, he kicks the ball with his right foot and makes an absolute wonder goal. And with that goal, he also makes the scores even. Now if the game hasn't heated up enough already, we also see that the Masters are getting ready to join in on the fun, as Lavinho looks super hyped as he compliments BACHIRA and says that it looks super fun and that he is joining in. Chris couldn't agree more with Lavinho and says that it's the Masters showtime, and we then right away start the match again with Manshine City being in control of the ball, and Nagi is looking at the field closely as he knows that the situation is changing. Just then, however, we see Agi, who's getting control of the ball and telling Nagi to focus, telling him that even if it's for the team or his own goals, half measures will only ruin him. We then see Ryo, who's on Nagi's other side, and tells him to shut up and to stay back. While Ryo and Agi are acting like a fighting couple, Nagi is in his own head and thinks that he still can't do anything and that even an assist would be fine right now, thinking that his plan is to contribute and then raise his value and in turn survive with Ryo. Hey, it's Natsu mid-editing here, and I just wanted to pause the video to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already, and while you're already down there, why not leave a like as well? And now just look at this insane trap Nagi hits us with. Like I already knew that his traps were godly, but this is just a new high. Even the no-name from FC BACHIRA couldn't believe his eyes. Anyway, Nagi gets the ball down towards the ground and passes it to Ryo, which Ryo compliments him for and tells him that they will strike through and make a direct 1-2 with each other. But just then, we see someone's foot coming into the picture and telling them that this pass pattern, he's seen it more times than his own parents, and it's none other than the ninja Otoya, who comes in with an insane amount of aura as he looks wild as he steals away the ball from Ryo and Nagi. He looks at them and tells them that the same trick won't work twice on the goat Otoya. Ryo is just totally mind-blown by this and can't believe that Otoya managed to read their play, not to mention how he sneakily came from behind and cut into Ryo's blind spot. We also see Nagi on the side, who realizes that they are now in real danger, and he begins to sprint with all that he can back towards their goal, while saying that Otoya and Bachira are getting fired up in the climax. The ball then goes over to Lavinho, who tells his players to speed it up and to blow away the Manshine City players with their imagination, which is something that Bachira is more than on board with as he looks ecstatic. We also see Otoya, who agrees, but not only that, as he is also able to completely sneak behind Chris Prince without any trouble at all. Bachira spots Otoya in the box and sends away a magical cross towards him. Nagi is looking at this and is just in pure amazement as the ball falls towards Otoya, who's in the middle of Chris and Niu. But even then he jumps up towards the sky, and with fire in his eyes, he shoots an insane and outright wild shot towards the goal, which obviously goes right into the goal. And as Nagi watched this go down, he concluded that the fire of those two is from those who believe that they're the center of the world. We then see Bachira and Otoya celebrating together as Bachira says that they have gotten the lead, and Otoya agrees by saying that they have only one more goal to go now. We then see the Panther Chigiri calling it a super goal. Meanwhile, some random defender from Manshine City, who thinks that he is someone, tells everyone to pay attention, and that if they lose here, then they'll lose everything. However, Nagi doesn't pay him any mind, as he knows that he's felt this feeling before, so he knows that after all, only those who get fired up can compete on the world stage for being the best. But that makes him wonder how he can get fired up right now and get into the same mindset that they are in, as he isn't sure who this new version of him is that can believe that he can become the world's best. We then see Ryo coming behind Nagi and saying that, as expected, it looks like this team thing isn't working and that they are in really big trouble. Nagi looks back and just says Ryo's name. However, just then, Ryo gets his tongue out and says that it's great and that they'll do something exciting instead, which leaves Nagi shocked. But Ryo looks completely fired up, as he even has a really cool chameleon chilling by his shoulder, as he tells Nagi that if they score a goal now and turn it around, then they'll be in the center of the world. He gets a light smirk as he says that it's enough of a reason to get Nagi fired up and asks him if he's right. Nagi looks just at Ryo with big eyes and says that Ryo has become strong. Ryo then looks even more fired up and wild as he has the football in his hand and tells Nagi that to become the world's best with him, Ryo is really ready to become anything, and Nagi then just continues gazing at Ryo and says that he's strong and dazzling. However, that's unfortunately where we left off this chapter, but don't worry, it's not over yet, as I have some things to go over. Firstly, I know that I already said it earlier, but I'm sad that they didn't give Nico any lines as they watched Isagi. They even gave Sendao lines, but not Nico, but I'm hoping that he'll get to say something soon. Now next up, did you really think that I wasn't going to talk about this madness of a panel? Like, this panel looks like it would be something out of a sci-fi manga, but no, it's just Isagi who's going completely mental, and not to mention the next panel where he looks completely wild, and it's almost like he's gotten totally absorbed into the pursuit of becoming the world's best, which would only be a good thing because you need to have that mindset here in Blue Lock, or else there's no way that you'll survive. So I'm kind of glad to see Isagi embodying that mindset a bit more right now, even though he looks completely crazy. Next, but this insane lift roulette. I don't know what Lavinho is feeding Bachira in the FC Barca stratum, but it has to be some wild crack or something because this is just wild. It looks like Bachira is in a circus by how insane tricks he's always doing and just styling on everyone else on the field. Now I was also extremely happy to see Otoya getting some love, as he's been a heavy topic recently, as everyone had basically gotten power-ups, except him. However, now he at least proved that he's still the GOAT by scoring that insane goal, and he's honestly a character I would love to see more about, as his whole gimmick with being a ninja is pretty interesting, but instead people like the monk get screen time, which is crazy. To end it, I want to say that I'm super interested in learning what it is that Ryo is planning to do right now, as from his aura and his overall excitement. It looks like he has a super plan, and I don't want to jinx anything, but I'm pretty sure that Nagi will get another wonder goal very soon. However, please tell me in the comments what you think will happen with Nagi. Anyway, if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel, and while you are at it, leave a comment and a like, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video that will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.